Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Tara from Earth. I'm a universal intuitive. I make videos on universal truths, astrology. I talk about what's going on in the world and how to empower yourself during the awakening. So if any of that resonates with you, feel free to like and subscribe. Okay, in this video, I want to talk about programming. In a world that is driven by fear and control, it's really programming that shapes our own beliefs, our reality, and limits our potential. It's not just external, but it usually stems from childhood, past lives, and social conditioning. And I will be going deeper into that in this video. As we enter the golden age or the age of Aquarius, where communication and ideas are going to be ruling, the manipulation of our own beliefs will be intensifying. There's still ongoing psychological warfare, media influence, and there's still psychological warfare, media influence, and spiritual distortions that really cloud our own truth. It's our ego that clings to these false narratives, of course, for safety and keeping us really stagnant. But by stepping into higher consciousness, unlearning these conditioned behaviors, we will begin to reclaim our own true essence. So what is programming? Programming is a subconscious conditioning that dictates our beliefs, our perceptions, and our reality, often without our awareness. Society, culture, media, our upbringing, this is even happening a lot in spiritual circles, and I call it false light consciousness. False light agendas are really distorting the reality for a lot of spiritual people. Despite a lot of good intentions and a great intuition that many of these teachers or mentors have, many of them are ungrounded and unknowingly promoting limiting beliefs disguised as empowerment. Spirituality can become a really big tool for control when it fosters superiority, fear, or just rigid dogma. True spirituality isn't really about following a set path, but connecting with your own truth, your own unique essence, and listening to your own higher wisdom. Understand that you are not your mind. The mind works just like a computer, and it runs on programmed beliefs that create a false sense of control. So our mind is like computer software or programming. It is limited. It only seeks comfort in what's familiar. But in order for us to transcend the limitations of the egoic programming, we have to move the ego down into the heart space. So shifting from mind to heart, and that is going to be a really big part of the awakening, even for the most spiritual people, because there's a lot of teachers and mentors out there who are still projecting from their own mind and not their heart. The heart is what really holds your true essence, holds you, and of course it holds unconditional love. And it's really through the heart that expands beyond limitations of the ego and the programming, guiding us towards more authentic self-expression and freedom. So while the ego clings on to safety, it's the heart that understands true love, expansion, and its limitless potential. Programming isn't just inherited. Understand that while we do pick up programming from our parents, from generations, it's not always inherited. It can be deliberately reinforced to keep us in fear and compliance. The government, the media, and other institutions really keep us in limiting beliefs that disconnects us from our own true power. And this is what's forcing us back into survival mode. This is what keeps us in a lot of scarcity and doubt, making us forget our ability to co-create with something bigger than ourselves. Awakening really requires us to look at where the root of this trauma and programming comes from. So like I said, it can come from childhood, it can come from past lives. There's a lot of places it can come from. Just know that there's always a root towards programming. So it's really important for you to go back, find the root of the programming, and really learn to take accountability, forgive yourselves, accept it, and heal it. So recognizing these outdated structures and systems and programs that we have been conditioned with is key towards reclaiming our own power. We are the creators of our own reality, but in order to embody our own potential, we must unlearn these false narratives, that we have placed on ourselves and learn to discern with our heart and authentic selves. So here are some ways to know that you still have programming. Repeating patterns. Repeating patterns is a really big sign of deep programming, a cycle that does stem from the subconscious conditioning, past experiences, or societal influences. Another one is unquestioned beliefs. This one is huge. Unquestioned beliefs are one of the strongest indicators that you are programmed because they operate underneath our awareness and they are shaping our behaviors and our decisions without us stopping to even examine them. And it's these unquestioned beliefs that are shaping our own thoughts and driving our own decisions without examining them at all. These are usually the ideas that we have absorbed from our parents, our upbringing, society, the media, the government, or authority figures. So a lot of these unquestioned beliefs are just deeply ingrained in us since childhood. And when we keep following these narratives without questioning them, they begin to run our lives, and we are unconsciously aligning to external conditioning rather than our own authentic truth. So you're just kind of in auto robot mode and you are being driven by these old programs and not creating your own life on your own. So again, it's kind of coming back to the example of like, well, this is just how life is. That is a lie, and that is programming that was probably taught from a teacher in 4th grade. That is how life is, and you just have to do it. You just have to deal with it. So this can come from just a small moment of a teacher or a parent or an authority figure, someone in power over you that said, well, that is how life is. This is what you just have to do. You just have to do it because I said so. Like, that is all part of the programming that we have all embodied since a young age, especially for a lot of empaths out there who didn't know to look within themselves yet. We didn't have the power to look within ourselves or to question authority at that time. So really, to break free from this, of course, you just have to be questioning everything around you. This means everything from the media, the news, but things your friends tell you, anything. Another one, of course, is fear-based thinking, which usually is the foundation towards programming. But a key sign towards being programmed is being in a constant state of fear. Understand that our heart doesn't activate from fear. It activates from unconditional love. So you have to know that your fear always comes from the mind. It comes from the programming. Whether it's fear of failure, of change, or even of success, fear is what is usually driving your decisions and stopping you from hitting higher potentials. Know that the media, the government, and even spiritual communities, to a sense, will be reinforcing fear, keeping us stuck in a cycle of limitation. So recognizing what fear is always from the lower chakras. So again, when we are in fear, sometimes we just feel very ungrounded and we aren't really tuning into our body. So to recognize fear, you have to really tune in and tap into your body. And that is the most important part for feeling what fear programming or what fear propaganda might feel like. Fear always comes from the lower chakra center. So if you're feeling any of these lower chakras, the root, the sacral, the solar plexus, that is a good indicator to know that you are in some fear conditioning if those are being activated. So really tap into the lower 3 chakras and really understand what fear feels like. You can do practices on your own. You can tap into something that really scares you, like being alone or something. Really tap into that emotion and feel in your body where you feel that fear. And then you can begin to open your heart and allow your heart to really set in, to clear that fear away. Your here is here to always reassure you, to remind you that it is just a program, it is not real. So that is a practice that I really recommend if you are wanting to try to work through fear programming. It's really about coming back into the body and knowing what fear feels like in the body. Fear always feels very tense. You kind of tense up. You kind of go in fight or flight, a little bit of survival mode. You can begin to feel anxiety, things like that. So all you have to do to break free from that is to expand and open that heart center. Let a gold light come out from the heart and just fill your entire energy field, and let your own love reassure you that that fear is just a program of the mind. And let that heart also direct you towards the root of the problem, the root of the fear. I could talk about all of the ways you are programmed forever, but the last one I want to talk about is disconnection from your intuition. This is one of the biggest signs of being programmed. If you have often felt really confused or in doubt or in fear, of course, or you're just struggling to hear your inner voice, it may be because the external conditioning has overridden your own natural wisdom. Programming really works by distracting us to keep us disconnected from our own source, replacing our inner knowledge with fear, with doubt, reliance, or external validation. So the more that we internalize outside influences, the harder it becomes to trust ourselves, trust our feminine channel that is trying to come through. This is what leads us to being disconnected, and we start making really misaligned decisions from here. So understand that your intuition is your most important guide. No one outside of you holds the answers, only you do. So even spiritual people that you are watching on TikTok, they don't hold the answers, only you do. So do not give your power away to external forces. Really try to clear out the noise to break free from this programming. To reclaim it, you really have to tune back into yourself, silence all of your distractions, and really just let your ego aside and allow your higher self to speak to you through the heart. So it's important to just really connect with your feminine energy, connect really deeply. If you feel like you are just burnt out, have an overactive ego, are really frustrated in resentment, it could be time to surrender the ego and allow your energy to be a lot more receptive. Your soul's wisdom has always been within you. It's just waiting for you to listen. So breaking free from old programming takes a lot of time, and it's a really deep transformation. It's what we are here to do. So this isn't something you can just do in a day. But if you start just looking at small things that you can tackle throughout your day, if you get triggered by something small, it's time to tune in and ask yourself where that is coming from. Breaking free from programming really requires a lot of awareness and a lot of accountability. That's why it is really hard for people. But remember, you are the creator of your own reality, and the more that you embrace your true power, clear out all this programming, the more you will break free from the limitations imposed by these old paradigms. I will be posting a lot more on topics like this, on programming and how to just empower yourself through the awakening. I post a lot on my Instagram and my TikTok, so you can go follow me there. Or if you're looking to book some energy work, the links are in my description, so go check it out there. Thank you for watching and stay grounded.